What's up there, guys? It's me, Stefan again, and hey, this is another video of me yapping about the update of Dawn of the Flood, which, surprisingly, has been quite a painful experience to me and the others. But I hope that this will be like a lesson to us for the future, so we will take things in time and not just leave it on the last 2 days. You heard me, Skittle and Chronos. I hope you did. But besides that, and before entering our video, I'd like to also express my opinion about something, or some things, rather than just, you criticizing a mod, and that case is Dawn of the Flood. You are allowed to do that, of course. But please don't be an ass like this guy, and I just put him on the screen. That is quite unfortunate for me, and also the Halo fans, which can... Mutants, bro? Mutants? Are you being for real right now? And what's with the guns? Like, whatever. We'll leave that. And one more thing is, I appreciate you Patreon supporters because you really did help us a lot. And really, y'all help us every time. And it's just a good thing to have you guys. You now have names. All of the Patreon subscribers as of now have names on the Pillager Form, so that is cool. And I'll also have to make a little announcement, actually no, 2 announcements at the end of this video, but stay tuned since then because we have a lot of content to cover. Shall we begin? Okay, and the first thing I'm trying to talk about is the new blocks, which are ores this time. Yeah, quite surprisingly for a mod like Dawn of the Flood to have ores. If you think, if you see what's in chat right here, I'm just gonna tell you right away. I'm trying to see the beautiful sunset. I mean, it just creates a beautiful atmosphere. It's a trick I use with a command block on repeat. Now let's get back to our blocks. So we have the tungsten ore, right? Have them in my inventory. The tungsten ore, which you can find in mines. The deep slate tungsten ore as well, you can find in mines and in caves. And if you get raw tungsten, right? You get raw tungsten from breaking these blocks, pretty straightforward. But if you melt these, if you just go ahead and want to not melt, but throw them to the furnace, into a furnace, you will get the... Oh, well, it's taking some time. Did not expect. It will give you 8 tungsten ingot, and which will come back to this because this will allow you to craft some beautiful, beautiful things. Oh yeah, we'll come back to that. Well then, as I said, the tungsten ingots can allow you to craft beautiful items. That is, the guns, which have been greatly improved, which actually gives the name of our new, the rebranded gun system. That gives it its shape. Now, let's begin with the tungsten ingots, which you can use in this gun workbench, which can be crafted with iron ingots and tungsten ingots. It will allow you to craft all of these items displayed right here, which is the guns, of course, and the respective ammo. As you can see, you'll require tungsten and iron. I mean, almost all. And that's pretty straightforward. We still need to improve a few things here and there for this, but that's it. Like, literally, there's nothing more. You can craft it and it just gives you the gun. Now let's talk about cooler things instead. As you probably saw in the mod, or in this video, I have a custom crosshair, right? But this is the Minecraft crosshair, but blue. Okay, but how about the guns? Yes, indeed, they all have different crosshairs. Now let's start with the Magnum. I didn't say it yet, but I've added camera additions, which basically allows me to animate the camera. And I also added melee animations and systems, which, yeah, pretty cool. It has draw animations as well. But the coolest thing is the camera, in my opinion. Also the sensitivity, which has just changed if you hold the gun, like if you aim the gun, right? Now let's reload this Magnum. Oh, no, I just... wait. And this... okay, well, then we're just gonna shoot it. And this will reload this time. This is how it looks, okay? Pretty cool. Now the MK50 sidekick, of course, again, with the inspect animations and stuff. Also draw animation. But as you can see, the muzzle flash also has been improved. I forgot to mention that. It looks a lot more realistic now. Right, very nice. Now the gun you've all been waiting for, because I didn't mention it yet, is the M90 shotgun. A new gun which most of you Halo fans know out there, which basically is a really cool gun. It's a shotgun. Who doesn't like a shotgun? Which, yes, shoots slower, but does a lot of damage from close distances. But from further distances, it doesn't actually deal that much damage because of the pellets expanding, you know, and just it's pretty realistic. I'll gotta give him that, you know. So yeah, let's shoot it. Oh, by the way, new inspect animations and stuff for this one as well. I mean, inspect animations, draw, melee. As you can see, the camera keeps on moving. It's animated now. It has recoil, pretty good. And this is the reload animation, the best one so far. But I know it's not like in Halo yet. We might have to change that in the future. Now, the last gun, which I'm positive y'all have seen before, is the Needler. I'm not actually gonna go over these ones that much because you've seen them, right? I'm just you know, intrigued by the gun workbench and the crafting system. But yeah, it's the Needler. You guys have seen it. Oh, one thing I'll mention though is that it has an explosion, but we'll get into that. It has now it has a Needler explosion. Also, the bullets are much stronger, and the Magnum is actually stronger than the Sidekick now because most of y'all apparently didn't like that I made the Sidekick stronger. I did not know that it was that weak. I mean, it's a Glock, like, or a 5.7. I don't know which gun is this, but it doesn't matter right now. So yeah, the Needler. And these are the new bullets which have been improved, and texture and model. And also we have the sniper rifle bullet, which I think most of you know what it stands for. Like, we haven't added anything yet like that, like a sniper or something, but yeah, a sniper will soon follow. Now let's talk about the small addition of fog into Minecraft. I mean, of course, this is custom fog, as you can see. The game has been made foggier, and that's to fulfill your request that some people wanted, because they did want, I think, to make the game more foggier and just give a chillier atmosphere. And I've made it foggier, actually, because of that Halo mission. Of that mission in Halo where the flood is just hiding and you're just out there walking in a forest or in barren wastelands that are just covered in fog, that a fog has just corrupted that world. And this fog looks good, in my opinion, but I mean, at the surface it looks okay, but in the caves, oh dude, it looks great. I mean, this just looks like you're playing with shaders, but let me find a bigger cave. Look at this. This is pretty cool. Like how the lining intensifies. Look at this. This is all done without a single shader. Pretty simple too. I mean, it has a few lines of code, but you need to know the event for that. So yeah. That being said, that's the fog. Now let's just go back to blocks one more time, because I want to show you the newly made or newly reworked blood splashes or blood splash textures that look just more realistic and cooler now, don't they? They also disappear in water, like they vanish or after some time, just like the previous one did. But now there's 4 variants instead of 2, and they look much more realistic. And of course, there's the blood variant and the normal, the bloodish variant. Very cool. Now let's also talk about a few miscellaneous things and artistic details, or you know, other textures. And those are the new banner pattern, the UNSC banner pattern, and the pelican paint thing, right? Now let's talk also about the newly rebranded energy sword, the new blade. right? As you can see, it has hands on it, and that's my main reason for wanting another energy sword like this. And besides the hands, it can also be animated. As you saw, that's a the draw animation, I guess. It's just when the blade pops up. And we also have swing animations and that beautiful, beautiful sound the all Halo fans have been waiting for. Can you hear that right now? Oh yeah. And also you have the lunge forward attack, as you can see. I mean, sometimes it does it, not all the time. Look, see that? And it pretty much destroys anything in its path. I mean, this is a weapon of destruction, to be honest. Look at this. Yep. That's kinda it with the energy sword as well. It also looks, it has stats now. You can stop to read, you know. It's pretty OP. It also glows. Now let's talk about a new system you guys just saw in that previous video, or previous timestamp if we're gonna have any. The player animation system, which is a very unique system, which I mean a lot of mods don't have, not even infection mods. And that it was only added because I felt like the mod needed some third-person animations for the energy sword and guns. Alright, so that's how it is. That's why the situation is like that. But of course, this system is not yet perfect, and it conflicts with other mods, and that's because it's made after the Mousie's mob system, if any of you are interested in that, and that system basically makes it so that for each player, or not for each player, but for an instance player, that means one player in the single player, or in multiplayer, they're the same player. I don't know how to explain. But it renders a new model instead that can be animated. That's what we've done as well. So yeah, basically we have third-person animations. Of course, if you don't like this enough, and I haven't said anything to surprise you yet, then you can always disable it via the config. Just don't allow third-player animations. But if you do allow it, you'll get this. Just a lot of player animations. A load of them, actually. Also for the guns. But I also... Wait, no. Look. Like melee and whatnot. Firing animations. They all have the same animations for now, the guns, but yeah, that's because it takes a lot to add more. That's the thing. But yeah. Now, as I've said before, I'm gonna come back to the Needler because now it has an explosion and I can finally show it to you guys, because it is time to reevaluate our dependencies and add one more to the list, and that is AAA Particles, which is a mod that allows you to make particles with an app called Effectsier, which then you can import into Minecraft and have your ultra beautiful realistic particles. And those are not just the ones that I will show you for the Needler, I mean it's only one, but also the ones that I will show you on these two, and the one that I will show you the energy sword. Of course, we'll add more as time goes on, but to be honest, I've made these particles almost by myself, so it's not really a thing that I can control now that I have school and more to code. I will be pretty painful, so that I will make these particles. I made them watch a few videos, and yeah, well, let's get straight into this without no more yapping. So first entity that has these particles is the carrier form, and that is, or the carrier form, what did I just say? And that is to make them explode realistically, just like in Halo. Look at that. Wait, one more hit. As you can see, the smoke. But it's not the only one, as I said. And the pod infector also has a few smaller ones, though, as you can see. However, for the energy sword and Needler, I have to spawn in a warden, which a lot of health, to just show you the particles. The first one is this little subtle smoke particle. I don't know if you guys can see it on the warden. I think you can. Look, you can see it. But the second one is much more visible, and this is the needler explosion. Keep in mind. Okay, that's one. Also, by the way, that explosion happens if there are 7 needles stuck in a target. Yeah. Now let's kill this guy. Good. That's with those particles. There's of course a new particle which I'm gonna show just in about, I don't know, just it might be the next thing actually. Okay, next thing to continue our particle list or whatever is actually part of a new system. I mean, this is an old system, of course, the reanimation system that has now been improved, and now, hear me out on this, it will not be as unrealistic. So basically, the pod infector will go straight for the dead human form and will ignore me. I can show it to you. And when it will reanimate it, when it would enter that body, the new particle will appear, which is a green smoke, but it's kind of, it's green, but you can't really see it properly. I don't know. I'm just gonna show it to you. Look, you spawn a pod infector, let's say, but you then add the body, and the mind changes, and wow, there it is. It also works if you have a dead human form on the ground lying already. Look, like the dude changes its mind, goes for the dead human form instead to reanimate it, and yeah. Now the new system, the next system, revolves around the central intelligence of the flood, and that is even better than it was before. And now they can target crops if the wave is above 4. Mainly that's because their intelligence will grow. They will open fence gates, run with the crossbow, leap better and try to parkour sometimes. They will also leave boats and minecarts, and that is, I can just show right now. I can't show all of them because I have to turn up the wave, and I will avoid doing that because I have to show you one more thing, you know. So yeah, but if you, as you can, I mean, I don't know if you just saw that, but if you try to place it in the boat, it just exits immediately. Go there, you little dude. Look, it just, yeah, it exits. But you can also make them, like as I said, the crossbow has improved. Like, they will try to run away at least. Look, they'll not actually go just for combat. They'll try to stay away, kind of. Look, you see, he's backing up just to shoot his crossbow. Now, it's important to note that the pillagers are technically a bit smarter than the pillager forms. So they'll mostly do that more often than the player forms. But now let's also take a look at them swimming, because they're pretty cool. You know, let me just, no, actually a skeleton should do. Look, they'll just dive now. They can dive, not like they did before. Now they can dive. They're so OP, so cool. And they can do this as much as they wanted to. I mean, those guys went for, I think, but this guy, well, wait. These guys are just shitting. Oh no, he's trying to come back with this. Round 2. Yeah, possible. Right. There are a lot more systems, as I said. There are the crop systems and yeah, way more than I just said. Now here's a shorter system, which is basically just an improvement of the human form animations. Now they have climbing animations. Can you see that, villager? Okay, he saw it. Come on, climb. Okay, well, not always they'll have that climb animation, because apparently there isn't actually a way. I mean, maybe there is, but the system is not yet actually perfect. Oh look, now it does that animation. So basically, if you're just on the edge right here, at these 3 vertices, if you're just there standing and you will climb that way, I don't think it will actually climb. But just like in real life, like, it's hard to move a hand like by 90 degrees and the other by yeah, it's it's hard to explain. But they can do that now, climb, which is pretty cool. Okay, well, next thing on the list is a very cool thing I know y'all will like. And that is the Flood Arriving on Earth event, which I didn't see any of you talk about this. So I'm assuming y'all haven't actually made a new world, because this is an insane model, and it will also be an insane scene. But for now, it's decent. Not great, not bad, it's decent. But the model itself, oh brother, that is great. And let me just show it to you. How good is that? And we'll do this. Set wave 1. You'll get the They're Here event. And well, just wait a few minutes. Did you hear that? A ship crashed containing the flood, which don't know if you can see, but there's 2 pilots here that have crashed also with the ship. There's 2 entities that I have not yet talked about, so I'm gonna leave that as it is. But look at this ship. Ain't it just great? Their names also are pilot forms. Look, pilot forms. And yeah, but this is the ship. We're gonna come back to this just because of those pilot forms. But so far it looks amazing. And it created a huge crater. Now, the moment y'all have been waiting for. The best thing ever you will see. I mean, I don't know, to be honest. The mobs. Firstly, we're gonna talk about the Pillager Form, which, as I said before, is a bit smarter than the player form in terms of, I guess, not animations. What that has no thing to do, but AI. You know, it's way more smarter. Oh shoot, there's a motorcycle outside. The hell, dude. Okay, but it can spawn with or without a crossbow. But most of the time it will have a crossbow. So yeah. Yeah, look, this guy doesn't. And if we spawn a few zombies, you'll see just how strong they are. I've also added blood dropping sounds, but they only play... They're randomized, they don't play all the time, so yeah. Now, let's just get rid of these guys. I mean, I'll do that while I'm not filming. But as you can see, these are the Pillager Forms. They can use crossbows, they're decently intelligent, they can spawn from wave 2 and upwards. And that's about it with them. Okay then, next form we're gonna cover is the Vindicator Form, which is a very cheeky little form that, unlike in other infection mods, doesn't have all that much health and knockback resistance, and not even damage. Like, you can pretty easily push him, and he's not that strong. But he has a little trick. He's cunning. He's very cunning, and can do a lot of tricks. Let's say, I mean, not that many, but if the waves, I mean, he will attack, of course, normally with an axe. But if the wave is above 3, he has a chance to do that, to throw his axe at the enemy. And that's pretty cool, in my opinion. I can even test it on myself. And yes, he can miss. Don't you think? That's honest. And it doesn't do that much damage. It's just interesting. I found it interesting that I can add this. So yeah, he can use that axe and throw it at me. Look, he just missed. Stupid. So yeah, that's him. The axes will also disappear after some time, so they won't stay forever on the ground. Just like arrows, they will disappear. Okay, next form. This is the Evoker Form I'm gonna show you, and this is actually the last base form technique. I mean, not the last. It's the last basic base form. And what's his power? Well, he can spawn with a totem of undying in his hand, but his power is that if he's close to a target, which he's just aiming at right now, I mean close enough, he can summon pod infectors just like spells, and can just multiply just like that. The maximum pod effectors that he can spawn at a time is 4. Like, if there and if there are too many nearby, he won't spawn any. That's the thing. That's a trick. However, he can do one more thing. I mean, instead of using his totem of undying and spawning those just like that when he sees a target, that is, he can create an army. If he has multiple dead human bodies laying around and you spawn him, doesn't need a target. He'll just spawn a lot of pod infectors. And you just revive those. It'll just revive all of them and create itself an army. Just like that. Now time for the next creature, which is the Marine Form entity, the first actual best base form. This is a complex entity, which as you can see is pretty tall, but he can use guns, just like Sangheli forms, and it can spawn from wave 3 and upwards. It's very cool. I mean, here's a small texture missing, but that is not a huge deal. I can always fix that. But just look at this guy, his animations, as well as the model. The helmet doesn't even align with his head. That's how mutated he is. And he's really strong. He can use that gun, as I said. He just obliterated that pillager. And he can also use melee attacks. Look, if he's out of ammo or he's too close, I guess. And that's him. He can spawn with multiple variants of guns. Oh wait, oh shoot, I was in survival, okay. Like, these guys have, look, this guy has a Magnum, those guys have MK50 sidekicks. He cannot have a Needler though, and that I have to fix for the Sangheli form as well. Like, I don't want them to have extraterrestrial weapons or human weapons like the Sanghelis. I gotta fix that someday. But I am trying to see a variant which I think looks the best. That is the one with the M90 shotgun. Look, this one. This one is insane. And if he sees the target, even if they kill it, that gun of his just looks absolutely crazy. It looks... It also can obliterate an army. There's a chance that when you spawn these bad boys, they have a chance to have the name Captain Keys. But look at this. He has a shotgun. Look how cool that is. He's putting it to my head, I guess. They're just that strong. They're really cool. They're one of my favorites so far. I mean, look at it, how they handle that shotgun. Wow. Or all of those weapons. Amazing. Now, as I said, I'm gonna come back to the pilot forms, or the pilot forms. What am I saying? And with that, well, I think you have guessed it. The marine forms are in fact the pilots of this ship. There is two of them. They have names. I don't know how they despawn, but... Oh, I know. They haven't despawned, actually. I think I've used that kill command. I think. I don't remember. But yeah. All overall, pretty cool. That's who... Those are the pilots. I wouldn't trust these guys if I were you. But, well, you do you, I guess. I now let the spookiest one at the end. And that is a very hated one, I would think. But that's by all means, because... Escape Around Parasites traumatized the entire fan base. They would not have any Enderman, any infection form of an Enderman allowed in their mod. However, I just added one. So I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I feel great. You know, like, I'm the dev, so of course I feel great. However, unlike the SRP one, this one is pretty much balanced. It's not... Okay, it's not perfect, I know, it's still strong, but it has 50 health, 11 damage. I'm just gonna enlist his stats. But the most OP thing out of all is if the wave is low enough. I mean, now the wave's 5, so they're immune to the water. This is how he looks like, by the way. He's immune to the water, as you can see. But if you set the wave, let's say 3, I guess, he will take damage in water. So what I'm trying to say by that is that he can overcome that water weakness when reaching wave 5. And what can this guy do? Well, he is not actually complete. He lacks a few animations, I would say, and a few things, but his AI is pretty good. So what can he do? He can teleport base forms, but only the basic ones, and the marine forms, not the Sangheli. They cannot bring in the Sangheli because, well, I think you all know that the Sanghelis are very strong. They can only bring the base ones, not even pod infectors. And that is what that is also randomized. You can change everything in the config. If he should be water sensible to water, or not if he should. I haven't actually added a config option for him to overcome or not the water weakness. That's most unfortunate, but I haven't yet added that option. But you will live. I mean, finally, every minute it passes, the points do not grow that much, so you will reach wave 5 instantly. You still have time before that happens, and before that, the Enderman, well, it's still gonna be OP, but not as OP. So yeah, let's see him in combat now versus one Iron Golem. I mean, those two guys, they can teleport, as I said, and also teleport allies. Look, that's their first ally, which just died. Oh wow, he just teleported that ally while it jumped. That's so cool. Wow, they totally obliterated that guy. Let's spawn 2 more. He'll spawn an army casually. He just died. I mean, one is enough to kill an entire army, but that's the thing, like, why I like this Enderman Form so much is because it's aligned with how the lore would function in Dawn of the Flood. It's because, I mean, because the Halo Flood is actually very resourceful and will just send you tons of armies at your door. Like, they're just gonna flood you. That's why the name comes like that. So yeah, he bringing so many enemies is normal. He has a 100 block range radius to get the forms, and he has a 64 block range tracking range for the player. And he's pretty fast as well, but not too crazy. I mean, yep. That's how things settle with this guy. Wow. Basically, he will kill them all, I suppose. Alright, now time for some smaller things to cover this entire thing up and end this video because it took me so long to film this. So, the Sangheli forms, actually, what am I saying? Have energy shields now. But they not all of them can have it. They are pretty randomized as well. And besides that, there's also human forms and player forms, which is a very interesting system. Now, wait, what is it? Player forms. These guys can spawn with armor, right? Even from set wave 1, let's say. Right? They can have armor. But the human forms can't. That is until... And yes, I did say before that I won't add armor to them because I didn't know how. Also, if you think this is too similar because they can... Well, all armor except a chest plate. Like, if you think it's too similar to escape around parasites, you're wrong. I didn't want to actually implement it like that. I wanted them to have a chest plate, but I don't know if you guys can see it properly, but they don't have a actual chest. Look, because it has like that, it doesn't have a chest bone, the model itself, and it's impossible to add. Actually, I have added one, and if you guys would want to, you can actually turn that option on by going into the config, and then they will work chest plates as well. But I prefer to stay off because it looks better that way. Oh wait, I just spawned a... We'll get into that later, but let's do set wave 4 now, let's say. Now the human forms can also wear armor. Then what does this mean? It means that as waves go by, then they'll learn how to use armor. Only the human forms and player forms. But the player forms know how to use it because they're player forms. But the human forms will learn how to use armor, like zombies. But they also learn how to use better armor and more armor as time goes on, okay? Now here's the Sangheli form, which, as you saw right there, it doesn't have that annoying glowing effect anymore that you guys didn't like. So yeah, now it has like a cooler but darker shade. I don't know how to explain it exactly. This so cool. I like this a lot better. You guys were right. But then, as I said, some of them can have energy shields. And let me... Oh baby, I just found one from the first try. And this is what an energy shield layer looks like on these guys. If you, of course, attack them, it will light up like this. You see, it lights up, and of course it plays a sound, and it's like a taunt effect. If you hurt it while you're too close, it will also hurt you as well. dealing like 4 hearts without armor. Pretty OP. And this armor resists damage very well. I think they take the damage 6 times less. But this armor also decreases with each heat. I mean, not every hit. Like this will not decrease its armor. It needs to have a different... No, not a different... It needs to have a certain amount of damage that's dealt to them in order for that armor to decrease, you know? Now, as I said before, and no, actually, as I've heard from my Discord server, there's people saying that, I mean, one guy, that this is very laggy to have this. I mean, for me, I have a shitty computer, but it still works pretty nice with even filming. But they said that this texture right here, this energy shield consumes a lot of resources, which might be true because I did test it and it consumed like 10 FPS. And for that, I'm gonna try to explain you the new system, the performance engine, which is also a Dawn of the Flood only. I mean, I just thought of it someday and I said like, oh well, if Dawn of the Flood is gonna be a big mod, then why not add this, I guess. And it's just the performance engine got to my mind. And now if you have the performance engine active, it's like a config option. It will actually have a different layer. It will look sometimes something like this, which I have on my screen right now. I just put it. It looks worse, but if you want performance, that's how you get it. And also, what that performance will get you, it will no longer have this cool layer. It will have the normal boring one, like the blue, not the glowing one, but the blue. I don't know, the blue simple. I don't know if you guys have seen it before. If you guys have played with the layers of the energy shields or layers of the Sangheli, what am I saying? You probably have seen that it had a different shade without this or the glowing, right? But yeah, if you will turn this performance engine on, you will have less cooler looking dude. But also not the only thing that's doing. Like the performance engine handles the particle system, I mean the particles we add, and the AAA particles, you know, from the dependency. Now thank you guys so much for watching this video, and before just ending this all, and I have to thank you all for being here with me on this bloody journey of me having to code a lot of things in 2 days, and as well the team having to make a lot of things in 2 days. I'll try to end it with an announcement, as I said, and that announcement, actually there's 2 announcements. The first one is I, Asir Stefan, need your help with something that is helping us write on the wiki. Now that school has started for me, and I have a lot of things to make, I am too busy to also write on the wiki. So if you love this mod, if you can't support us with money, let's say, you can support us this way to help us by the wiki. There's applications, there's like 3 members or 4 currently. There's me, there's Enteral, and there's Beta. I think those are the only ones. I mean, maybe Evan Wingerter wants to join as well, but anyhow, any who of you wants to join, please do. I will gladly accept whatever help you can come up with. Okay. Now next thing is, the second announcement is, well, as you guys have seen, this is a pretty big update, but not big enough, is it? I mean, even if we had the time, I don't think if I could have coded much more stuff. But the second announcement is, I want another modeler. So if any of you are talented, like Scout, or perhaps, or anybody else that wants to join, and yes, we'll pay you. And if you help us with the flood, with the Dawn of the Flood, to add more mobs, you will get paid and you will be an official team member. That wraps it up for today. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you like the editing as well. I'm a shitty editor, but I'm just a modder after all, so yeah. And hope you guys will get back next time as well. See you then. See ya.